My name is Gabe Zollner. You know, our Supreme Court, right now, there's 5 Republicans, or they say they're Republicans, and there's 4 Democrats. They were appointed by Democratic presidents. The last 2 were appointed by, Bozo. Anyway, one's Elena Kagan, and the other one's Sonia Sotomayor. Now, the Supreme Court works pretty much the same way as the Senate does. And I guess the House of Representatives. Not so much the House of Representatives, but more so the Senate. And the reason I say that is that Democrats always vote party line. They do not vote on the issues other than party line. And the same thing happens in the Supreme Court, which it really shouldn't, because the law is either black or white. It can't be gray. And it's pretty amazing to see how they vote. That's how they vote. They vote the same way as the Senate does. And the Senate votes Democratic all the way because they're controlled by Democrats. What's interesting is Obamacare was Obama's signature legislation. Now, think of what would have happened if Justice Roberts would not have done what he did, and if Obamacare would have died in the Supreme Court. Well, when you consider, and I truly believe there's an organization behind Obama. He's not bright enough to tie his shoes, let alone do what he's done to this country. So the organization has spent billions of dollars over the past 25, 30 years putting this infrastructure together. Obama's just their mouthpiece. There's absolutely no way that they could afford Obamacare to have failed. So what if Justice Roberts was compromised? What do we know for certain about the way Chicago machinery works? Well, we know that they tend to gather information on people like Obama and his organization did when Obama was running for the Senate, and they produced the sealed divorce documents of someone that was running against them. What if the justice was compromised? I mean, when you think about it, it was very creative how Justice Roberts finally agreed that, in fact, it can be made into law, when the other 4 justices on the Supreme Court that were Republicans turned it down. There was no way that it could have failed. You take a look at the General Petraeus. What happened to him? Well, he was discredited at the very last moment. The reason he was discredited was because he had to be discredited. Obama wanted to make certain that anything that he had to say about Benghazi or anything else couldn't be believed, because he was obviously involved in extramarital affairs. He couldn't be trusted. That didn't come out until the very end, when Obama needed it to come out. Now, once again, what if the Chicago style of doing business intimidated or threatened or blackmailed Justice Roberts? Something to think about, isn't it? Well, the scary thing is, if there's any truth to that, this country is lost forever. There's no turning back. We know the Supreme Court doesn't work as it is. Now, if Bozo stays in power, and if a Republican-appointed justice either retires or passes away, guess who's going to slide into that slot? I'll bet you a cup of coffee or a stiff shot of tequila that it'll be none other than the less than honorable Attorney General Eric H. Holder, Jr. That's who will become the next Supreme Court justice. He'll put him in even if one of the Democrats retires or passes away. But that's what's going to happen. Anyway, it's all over anyway. It doesn't matter much. I mean, I'm really expecting Janet Napolitano to release her blue shirts onto the American people. Boy, she's got an awful lot of ammunition, doesn't she? You ever wonder why? Another thing to ask is, why is John Boehner giving them money to do that? Pretty scary, huh? I think he's compromised as well. I actually said that in another video. And that's why, you know, Boehner pretty much agrees with everything that Obama wants. You know, they put up like a little bit of an argument, a little bit of a fight. It's all theatrics. It's all entertainment. And Obama always gets what he wants. I have no doubt that he'll get these other two bozos that he wants into office, you know, Hagel and Brennan. They'll become part of his cabinet. They'll round out all of the dysfunctional edges of his cabinet. Wait and see.